Level 1. The Believer. You are 24, Columbus, Ohio. You intern for your congressman the summer after college, and something clicked that never unclicked. Not the power, not yet. The possibility. You watched a single piece of legislation change the lives of 40,000 people in your district, and you thought, this is the most important work a person can do. You volunteer for campaigns. You knock on doors in the rain. You take a $32,000 a year job at a policy nonprofit because the work matters more than the salary. Your friends from college are making 3 times that in finance. You do not care. You have something they do not, a reason to get up in the morning that has nothing to do with money. That clarity is real. Remember it, because the version of you standing in that nonprofit office right now is the last completely honest version that will ever exist. Level 2. The Candidate. You run for state legislature, small district. Nobody expects you to win. You raise $180,000, mostly from small donors, friends, family, people who believe in what you are saying. Your platform is clean: criminal justice reform, infrastructure investment, government transparency. You mean every word. The campaign teaches you how people actually live. The nurse working double shifts, the factory worker whose plant just announced closure, the veteran who cannot get his benefits processed. You win by 1,100 votes. Election night, you cry in front of your entire family and do not feel embarrassed about it. You are going to fix things. You are going to be different. Every politician who ever got corrupted started exactly where you are standing right now. Certain, righteous, completely unprepared for what comes next. Level 3. The Compromise. 2 years in, the idealism has not disappeared, it has just gotten complicated. You sponsored 4 bills, none passed. The ones that came closest died in committee controlled by members whose campaigns are funded by the industries your bills threatened. You are learning the architecture of obstruction. Nothing passes without coalition. Coalition requires compromise. Compromise requires giving people things they want. A senior member pulls you aside after a floor vote. There is a fundraiser next week. Important donors, people who can make your next campaign effortless or impossible. You go, you smile, you shake hands, you take the checks. You tell yourself one dinner does not change who you are. It does not, but it changes who has access to you. And access in this business is everything. Level 4. The Operator. You run for Congress. This campaign costs $2.4 million. 43% comes from PACs connected to industries your committee will oversee. You win comfortably. Washington is different from Columbus in ways nobody prepares you for. The scale of money moving through the system is staggering. A single defense bill moves $800 billion. A single pharmaceutical regulation affects a $500 billion industry. The lobbyists here are not crude. They are intelligent, well-resourced, and genuinely helpful. They write legislation. They provide research. They staff your office with people who understand policy better than you do. The line between assistance and capture is invisible until you are already on the wrong side of it. You crossed it sometime in your 2nd year. You did not notice. That is exactly how it works. Level 5. The Beneficiary. Your net worth has tripled since entering Congress on a government salary. Legally, technically. Your spouse started an investment firm 2 years ago that attracted significant clients from industries you regulate. Your brother-in-law's construction company has won 3 federal contracts in your district. You earmarked the funding yourself. It is all disclosed, all legal. The system was not designed to prevent this. It was designed by people doing exactly this. You sit on the Financial Services Committee. You receive more in campaign contributions from financial sector PACs than any other member of your class. In return, you have voted against 3 consumer protection measures your own constituents would have benefited from. You do not think of it as betrayal. You think of it as governance, the art of balancing competing interests. That reframing is so complete, you no longer hear how it sounds. Level 6. The Fixer. People come to you now, not just donors, not just constituents, other members, lobbyists, party leadership. You have developed a reputation for solving problems quietly. A regulatory investigation moving toward a major donor gets redirected through a conversation with the right committee chair. A competitor's federal contract gets delayed through a procedural objection nobody traces back to you. You do not do any of this crudely. No envelopes, no explicit deals. Everything operates through implication and reciprocity. Favors given, favors owed. A vast, invisible ledger that exists entirely in the memory of people who will never testify about it. You are now one of the most useful people in Washington. Useful is more powerful than famous. Useful means nobody can afford to remove you. Level 7. The untouchable. 3 journalists have tried to build cases against you in the past 4 years, none published. 2 ran into legal pressure from entities connected to your donors before their stories were complete. 1 published a partial piece that generated 2 news cycles and disappeared. You did not orchestrate any of this directly. You did not have to. When you were useful enough to enough powerful people, the system protects you automatically. Your approval rating in your district is 61%. Your constituents see a congressman who delivers infrastructure projects, jobs, federal funding. They are not wrong, you do deliver. The question of who you deliver for simultaneously is one they do not have full visibility into. You have made sure of that, carefully, consistently, for years. Level 8. The exposure. A junior staffer you let go 18 months ago has been talking to a federal prosecutor. Not about the big things, she does not know the big things. About the small things, calendar entries that do not match official schedules, payments routed through your campaign account that do not correspond to any disclosed vendor, phone records showing contact with a lobbyist the night before a committee vote that moved $200 million toward his client. Small things. The prosecutor is good at small things. Small things are how large cases get built. Your lawyer calls you on a Tuesday morning. His voice is careful in the way that means the situation is not careful at all. You sit in your congressional office, surrounded by framed photos of constituent meetings and award ceremonies, and a flag that flew over the Capitol, and you think about a $32,000 a year job at a nonprofit in Columbus. You think about knocking on doors in the rain. You think about how certain you were. Level 9. The fall. The indictment has 11 counts: wire fraud, conspiracy, honest services fraud, the charge prosecutors use when the corruption is real, but the paper trail is carefully managed. Your lawyers are excellent. The trial lasts 4 weeks. The jury deliberates for 2 days. 7 counts stick. Your party issues a statement expressing disappointment and calling for your resignation before the verdict is even read aloud. The donors who funded 20 years of campaigns are unreachable. The colleagues whose problems you quietly solved for a decade do not return calls. The lobbyists who ate dinner with you twice a week have retained their own counsel and are cooperating with prosecutors. You stand in a federal courtroom and listen to a judge read a sentence of 6 years, and you think, this is what the architecture of abandonment looks like from the inside. Level 10. The mirror. You serve 4 years with good behavior. You walk out of a minimum security federal facility on a Wednesday morning. No cameras, no statement. A car waiting in the parking lot, driven by the one person who stayed. Your district has a new congressman now. Young, idealistic, clean platform, criminal justice reform, government transparency, infrastructure investment. You have watched his first 2 years from a distance. He has already taken the PAC money, already attended the fundraisers, already voted against one measure he campaigned on because the coalition required it. You do not feel contempt. You do not feel vindication. You just recognize the beginning of a road you traveled all the way to the end. Somewhere in Columbus, a 24-year-old is knocking on doors in the rain for a candidate they believe in completely, certain, righteous, with a reason to get up in the morning that has nothing to do with money. You were that person once. That is the part that never stops being true, and the part that never stops hurting.